I think we stopped last time because we did, last week there was a confusion of the class or not, but I made a review of those things that Imam al-Ghazali talked about regarding delusion and ghurur. Now, Imam al-Ghazali, rahimahullah, talks about delusion regarding knowledge. And as you know, Imam al-Ghazali, rahimahullah, categorized scholars to two categories. One of them he called ulama al-dunya, and the other called ulama al-akhirah. The technical scholars and akhirah-oriented scholars. Because for him, knowledge inquired by people in terms of information is not the knowledge that helps you in the next life. He differentiates between information and transformation. You can have a lot of information downloaded in your head and your mind, but unless until change your behavior, there's no benefit of it. Imam al-Ghazali differentiates between two types of scholars. The scholars that consume information and memorize information, and the scholars that deal with transformation and changing of people. And therefore, what a person next life oriented, other than a worldly oriented. But for him, Imam al-Ghazali, rahimahullah, as you see here, says, أما غروره من حيث العلم فحيث اقتصر علم الفتاة وظن أنه علم الدين وترك علم الكتاب والسنة الرسول صلى الله عليه وسلم ربما طعن على المحدثين وقال إنهم نقلة أخبار حملة أسفار لا يفقهون فيها شيئا وترك علم تهذيب الأخلاق وترك الفقه عن الله تعالى بإدراك جلاله وعظمته. What Imam al-Ghazali is saying in this text is that you can have a person memorize the technical aspect of fiqh. He knows how to pray, what invalidates your salah, what invalidates your fasting. He said that's good to know that kind of knowledge. But knowing Quran, knowing the Sunnah of Rasulullah, knowing the life of Rasulullah is where all of this technical fiqh is supposed to have us to gain, is to know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is not negating or dismissing the importance of the technical knowledge. But he said you don't stop there. The whole reason of the knowledge of the Quran and the Sunnah and fiqh is to do, it's called tahdhib al-akhlaq. How a person really transform their manner, their conduct, their perspective in life according to this moral system Islam has put. As I said in Khutbah al-Jum'ah last week, that morality in Islam is based on the idea of connecting with God Almighty first. And as you recognize His sovereignty over the world, and His sovereignty over us, and His infinite wisdom, infinite mercy, infinite forgiveness, as we understand that relationship with Him, that impacts our view in the world, our relationship with others, because He has infinite love, infinite mercy, and forgiveness, and so forth. And then in our relationship with others, we should connect with Him, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so that we can gain or live some of these attributes. We become Allah, astaghfirullah azim, in infinity of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But we have to learn to connect with those beautiful attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in our personal life. Therefore he says, ترك علم تهذيب الأخلاق وترك الفقه عن الله تعالى. You know the word fiqh? What fiqh means? Understanding, the Arabic word, the Quranic word, deep understanding. What people did, they took it to a legal term. Fiqh regarding legal rulings. And Imam Ghazali, rahimahullah, in the beginning of this book, he talked about corrupted concepts. This concept, some people have corrupted them. And one of them, the concept of fiqh. Fiqh means deep understanding and comprehending the relationship with God Almighty first, with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why Imam Abu Hanifa, rahimahullah, wrote a book called, he called it Al-Fiqh Al-Akbar, the greatest fiqh. The book is not about salah and how to pray. It's about Allah, the relationship with Allah. Because he was an Imam Al-Akbar too. He said, rahimahullah, that therefore the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala requires fiqh. What happened through the history is that the people have labeled different branch of Islam in isolation of the others. The fiqh is everything that you understand about Islam, from relationship with Allah to relationship with your neighbors, to financial dealings, to how to get over your moral weaknesses, to enhance your connection with the virtues of gratitude, generosity, and all of this fiqh. Because there's a fiqh al-kitab, understanding the book of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and fiqh al-tawheed, understanding the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the fiqh of understanding the life of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They call it seerah. And there's the fiqh of nafs. The fiqh of nafs, understanding oneself. Have deep understanding of our own. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls us to reflect on ourselves. في أنفسكم أفلا تبصرون. Don't you reflect on your own self? Many people think this ayah is about the physical aspect of us, how our heart works and lungs, and that is true. But this is not the main goal. The main goal is to reflect on our own self and to see what are the areas that I need to improve on, what are the strengths I have, what are the opportunities I have to rise to my potential as the best creation of God Almighty. قَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. Allah bestowed dignity and honor upon us as His creation, above all His creation. Now, قال وهو العلم الذي يورث الخوف والهيبة والخشوع ويحمل على التقوى. The real knowledge is the knowledge that connects us with Allah, to be in awe in His presence, have khushu', to have humility, fear and love, and encourage us to have become God-conscious individuals. He said that the person who indulges in only the technical Islam and forget the spirit of Islam, فقد ترك العلوم التي هي همة وهو غافل مغرور. That person have taken, been indulged and concentrate on those sciences, but become heedless and not aware of the things that is essential for him or her, and the things that also lead them to delusion and arrogance. He said that some people they become very proud, they're memorizing all of these rulings, but the relationship with Allah is weak. They don't know Allah that much. That's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran, وَلَوْلَا نَفَرَ مِنْ كُلِّ فِرْقَةٍ مِّنْهُمْ طَائِفَةٌ لِيَتَفَقَّهُوا فِي الدِّينِ وَلِيُنذِرُوا قَوْمَهُمْ إِذَا رَجَعُوا إِلَيْهِمْ لَعَلَّهُمْ يَحْذَرُونَ. He said that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, let a group of people go and learn, become aware, have deep understanding of the religion, so they can go back and teach their people, they warn their people. And he said, therefore, the call of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to all of us is to learn understanding our deen in the sense, in a way that make us aware of ourselves and our behavior. And he said, because we become God conscious, then you will pray, you have better understanding of salah, a person become aware that not to take anything not theirs, become aware of what they call financial transactions, make sure that does not say anything, take anything that's not theirs, become aware of protecting people's life, preserving people's life, not committing any hurt to anyone. Therefore, he says that the money is a طريق الله آلة والبذل مركب. He said that money is the tool, the body is the vehicle. The most important knowledge وإنما العلم المهم ومعرفة سلوك الطريق وقطع عقبات القلب التي هي صفات مذمومة. يا الله. فهي الحجاب بين العبد وبين الله تعالى. This is a very important aspect in this spiritual discourse. If you ask yourself, I ask myself every day in the morning, what is my goal and objectives in learning anything about Islam, praying 5 times a day, all of the required thing to do? Those are the things that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have guided us. He said, those are the things, if you do them, it brings you to the path toward me. But this path toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala they have distractors. Things that distract you, get you off the path. And also there's something called hujub. Imam Ghazali called it here, hujub. What are the hujub? Hujub are veils. Veils make a person not to be able to see the road well. If you have someone have a very nice car, and today that they said that you can have the car drive itself, car drive itself. Now, even the car that drives navigate, sometimes they ask you to touch the wheel. You know that? In Tesla? Why do they ask you to touch the wheel from time to time? You're there because they know it can fail. It will not be able to guide you by itself. You're not going to be navigate. The system can go down and everything. A human being in a car closing their eyes and think that they will be able to go to the destination, they will not be able to do that. You have to look to the prayer and fasting as a vehicle. They are the tools, but in them you have to be alert. You have to be able to see things. Salah, fasting, and all of those are the means to feel the presence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But the means had to be used so that the person can see. And as I said many times in this class, there's a physical eye and there's an inner eye. Physical eye, they see the world, but this physical eye also can get sick. You have a pink eye, you get up in the morning, you can open your eyes. Our inner eye gets sick, or basira. And that inner eye has to be taken care of. So you'll be able to see things as supposed to be seen, as I pretend to be. But Imam al-Ghazali, rahmahullah, talks about the hujub, veils that prevent the person from seeing the reality and the presence of Allah Almighty. In the Day of Judgment, there's some people Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not able them to see His Majesty. كَلَّا إِنَّهُمْ عَنْ رَبِّهِمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ لَمَحْجُوبُونَ. Allah will have them have hijab, will not be able to see Him. But in this dunya, if a person is 50 years old, 30 years old, 70 years old, whatever age they may have, still there's a beauty in this path that until Allah chooses to take us out of this life, the walking in the path itself is a pleasure, is serenity, is being with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the walking to the path is that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala close the gap, as I said before. Just make the move. Walk toward me, I walk toward you. Walk toward me, I run toward you. Make this baby steps, I make this giant. Allah make a giant step. Because the name of Allah is Al-Kareem, the generous. And out of His generosity, He make little effort, big effort. He did the little things. You cannot compete with Allah in generosity. You give $1, He make it 700. You make baby step, He make a giant step. Because He deal with Al-Kareem, the most generous. And his generosity has no limitation. And that's why it's amazing things about realizing this, the nature of the relationship between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It become amazing understanding. This is really a relationship with the one, as Ibn Ata al-Iskandari rahimahullah, he said that, and the one you seek become your seeker. He's seeking you. Like you walk toward Him and run toward us. Hadith Qudsi. It's amazing that He just made baby steps and bring you in His presence. For this is the knowledge that we need to have. Not Googling knowledge, cut and paste. One of the things that one of the scholars told me of the challenge of internet and the Google paste, you didn't get the whole truth. You get partial truth. If you Google what Imam al-Ghazali said about gratitude, they give you a little bit of it. But if you read Ihya from the beginning to the end, you see the whole picture. Even you Google one verse from the Quran, we didn't get the whole picture because you have to see what other places Allah have said, what He have said. Therefore, it's very important that not to stop learning. Fast food, drive-through knowledge is not the best way to get knowledge. That we have a holistic approach of learning. Like sometimes a person, like a brother went to Google or actually use the artificial intelligence called GTP. And it was an issue that I told him about, and then he came to me and said, this scholar said this and that and that. I said, you need me for something? Okay. I said, these two scholars that you just quoted, they have opposite opinion of this. I said, asked the machine again. And the machine said, it is true. They have this with conditions. I said, see? He didn't say the condition. But Kotti said, the contemporary scholar, two scholars have this. I said, this is not true, by the way. He said, are you sure? I said, yeah. I said, ask the machine again. Says, somebody just said that this is not true. Those people have this up. Then the machine back said that, yeah, those people, they believe in this with conditions. And the condition itself doesn't make any sense to me, like the condition the machine put. Because not all of it is accurate. Therefore, cut and paste does not take you anywhere. The people cut and paste in religion too. Like, they take one aspect, they don't see the whole picture. You have to be able to see the whole thing. But this path toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala It's based on this, his name, beautiful name, the generous, Al-Karim. He gives. He's, make a little bit things, and then Allah, He said, if you give me $1, I'll make it 700. If you work toward me this much, I will do much. Okay? If you seek my guidance, I increase you in guidance. وَالَّذِينَ اهْتَدَوْا زَادَهُمْ هُدًى. Just beautiful. It's beautiful relationship with Almighty subhanahu wa ta'ala. Imam al-Ghazali rahimahullah says, نعم. ومعرفة سلوك الطريق وقطع عقبات القلب التي هي الصفات المذمومة. He said, then he explained it. He said, عقبات was called the hinders. Thing that hinders the heart from being connected with Allah. What things blocks the heart? He said, those are sifat al-madmuma, the blameworthy behavior and attributes and so forth. Like lying, like backbiting, like grudge, hatred, and so forth. Those are the things that block the heart from seeing the light. You have to remove them. Called aqabat. فَلَقْتَحَمَ الْعَقَبَةِ. The person overcome the obstacles and the hinder. My father, Allah bless his soul, he described, which is Imam Ghazali also theory, the heart, the nafs like a horse. You have to be able to make the nafs smooth in the path, to train the horse. By the way, there's something about horses. Horses are beautiful creatures of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Horses are beautiful. Horses can smell your feeling and can sense how you feel. Those who are being a farmer around horses, there's something about them very therapeutical. They're therapy. Now there's a therapy action with the horses. Anyway, for imagine you have a little horse that you cannot ride on until they grow. That is personal childhood. We discussed that with two of my friends working in a book. That a little until the horse grow and become a strong horse, that is age of puberty. Now your nafs has to be disciplined. Before that, then you discipline the nafs, then you have to be able to train the horse to accept that take you to the destination you want to. But in order to do that, you have to feed the horse. You have to take care of the horse. Don't neglect the horse. And therefore the horse now become easy for you to ride on the horse and take you to the destination. Now, the horse, if the horse is a race horse, being trained, then you see this partition here? They jump over this, they jump over it, they jump over that. As they jump, and you are in the back of the horse, you have to stay still. You have to move with the horse. If the horse moves this way, you move this way, to make the horse flexible to jump. In the spiritual path, our nafs like that. That's why Rasulullah said to the Sahaba, said, why don't you teach us every day? He said, I'm worried about your nafs. Like, get used to it and then become boring to you. Rasulullah said, مَخَافَةِ السَّآمَةِ. مَخَافَةِ السَّآمَةِ. And it's a very important understanding this, the reality of our state, of our hal. How do you understand the condition of myself? And how can I navigate to overcome, to make myself have the ability to overcome the obstacles coming in this way? Because it's a path toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I have to keep moving toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this nafs has to be the transportation, that take me to that level. Now, this aqabat that my brother Rida just asked about it, which is the obstacles, the hinders. A person have to know where they're going, the destination, and they have to know the challenges in their way. What things that hold you back? how you can navigate those obstacles in our life. It doesn't mean that we will not have hinders. You're going to have hinders, all of us. But either to overcome them or to go around them. You have water. What the water does? There's something, try to block the water. What the water does? It goes like this or like this. It doesn't let the obstacle. Sometimes you have water that penetrated even mountains. You know? Therefore, how do you go through the mountains or around the mountain? So you can continue going. Don't let it hold you back. There's something I just want to share with you regarding the psychology of spirituality. You know, the ability to overcome obstacles and aqabat, it begins with recognition and acknowledgement. What you see in front of you is an obstacle. And when you see it as an obstacle, then you ask yourself, how can I remove that obstacle? And you have to have the will to overcome it. Not to give up, to say, this obstacle here that the horse says, I'm not jumping. But you train the horse to jump. That means when you come to go faster. But how can we train ourselves? First, to recognize the obstacle, not to be in denial, and the second, to have the will to overcome it. You know, some people, their obstacle is the strong desire of particular things, that they have a sin that they couldn't overcome. And then the minute they learn how to conquer their desire and how to overcome those weaknesses, they find it so easy. The path becomes beautiful, But it requires training, requires understanding, requires even help from others, It's very important when you read this writing of Imam Ghazali, you understand what he is concentrating on. He says, do you want to be mahjuban anillah? Do you want to be deprived, have something come between you and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is our goal and objective, then you have to remove everything from our way. قال فمثاله في الاقتصار على علم الفقه مثال مقتصر من سلوك طريقة الحج على علم خرز الرواية والخف ولا شك في أنه لم يكن لتعطل الحج ولكن المقتصر عليه ليس من الحج في شيء وقد ذكرنا شرح ذلك في كتاب العلم. يعني he gave an example, by the way, in another book. He said, like a person going to Hajj, and a person, the whole thing become about Hajj. Instead of understanding the goal, a person become occupied with things that is not essential in the trip. Like, what my size of my ihram, what kind of food that I like, I'm gonna carry with me, and so forth. It's good to have food and so, but that's not the objective. People go to Hajj, the thing they ask, instead of when we're going to go to the Kaaba, when is the breakfast, and what kind of variety, and if the French fries is cold, they get upset. I literally have seen that. We were like, why the French fries is cold? I said, brother, the Kaaba is hot. Just go there. There's something greater in front of you. That's about French fries and other things. Distractions. The same thing with the path of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Don't let small things pull you back and so forth. You're dealing with Allah, the most forgiving, the most merciful, Don't let anyone distract you, tell you you're not good enough, you're not this and that. There's some people demoralize people in the path toward Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala because they don't want them to go toward Allah. And they becoming acting like God. Allah not gonna forgive you. Allah not gonna do this. God, come on, get out of my way. Lead my creator, my creator, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. For it's قالوا من هؤلاء من اقتصر من علم الفقه على الخلافيات ولم يهمه إلا تعلم طريق المجادلة والإلزام وإفهام الخصوم ودفع الحق. There's some people, he said, they are become occupied in fiqh in the issue of disagreement. And he learned nothing from fiqh except debating and try to convince people and defeat people so that you come لأجل الغلبة المباحة, so they become like called scholars and amazing عالم. فهو طول الليل والنهار في التفتيش عن مناقضات أرباب المذاهب. The whole night he or she is spending it on knowing all the things that are contradictory in madhahib. You know? والتفقد لعيوب الأقران. And also want to find other people being wrong, their peer. All night long, they're online. What this person have said. There's some people actually making money in criticizing so-called scholars and activists. They make money out of this. Do you know that? Their job, they see anyone rising, they attack that person because they know their followers are going to listen to them, and then their rating and goes up. Matter of fact, this is for true, first-hand knowledge. One of the Talib al-Ilm in one of the universities here attacking one of the scholars. And I was asked in front of me, why do you? He said, I want him to respond to me. Come on. What is, I want him to respond. I'm going to kill that until he responds to me. That's not, this is a bad niyyah. قال حجوت جريرا ولا ورد علي لكنت أشعر الناس. A little poet who not famous, not being known, he said, I attacked Jarir, which is a big poet, well-known poet, Arabic poet. He said, I attacked him. I said, he wrote verses in poetry slandering him. He said, I wanted him to respond to me. Because if you responded to me, I'd be recognized as a poet. كنت أشعر الناس. Come on. Bad niyyah. Those are their business. Try to say, I'm for the truth, for the haqq, and so forth. Some people that call them, tell them what they did is right or wrong. Or maybe they would correct themselves. But why you have to have rating and so forth and followers, and that's your job, making money off, become presiding over criticizing American Muslim scholars. So he says, and by the way, if you ask them who's your shuyukh, they say, I'm not going to tell you. Whom do you learn Islam from? I'm not going to tell you. ولم يهمه إلا تعلم طريق المجادلة والإلزام. That person occupied themselves and spend their time only to debate and so forth, so that he can show that he has ability to defeat people and convince them and embarrass them. فهو طول الليل يفتش في التشاؤم من مناقضة أرباب المذاهب والتفقد لعيوب الأقران. You want to look for the peer that was what fault they may have. والتلقف لأنواع التسبيبات المؤذية وهؤلاء هم سباع الإنس طبعهم الإيذاء. هم سباع أولئك هم سباع الإنس. سباع means like lions and wild animals. طبعهم الإيذاء. Their nature is to hurt other people. وهمهم السفه ولا يقصدون العلم إلا لضرورة ما يلزمهم لمباحثة الأقران. He said those kind of people, they spend all night long and day مناقضات أرباب المذاهب والتفقد لعيوب الأقران والتلقف لنوع التسبيبات المؤذية. وهؤلاء هم سباع الإنس وطبعهم الإيذاء وهمهم السفه ولا يقصدون العلم إلا لضرورة ما يلزمهم لمباحثة الأقران. فكل علم لا يحتاجون إليه في المباحة كعلم القلب وعلم السلوك الطريق لله تعالى بمحو الصفات المذمومة وتبديلها بالمحمودة فإنهم يستحقرونه ويسمونه التسويق وكلام الوعاظ. وإنما التحقيق عندهم معرفة تفاصيل العربدة التي تجري بين المتصارعين في الجدل، وهؤلاء قد جمعوا ما جمعهم الذي من قبلهم في علم الفتاوى، ولكن زادوا عليه اشتغالا وليس من فروض الكفايات، بل جميع دقائق الجدل في الفقه بدعة لم يعرفها السلف. Now, to summarize what Imam Ghazali just have said, he said those people, the whole time they watch this video and this video, that video. What did he say here? Right, I'm going to criticize the scholars here. And they cut and paste. And therefore they come and they have 1 hour, 2 hours to speak one of the Muslim scholars. And if a person saw the whole lecture, they will not come to that conclusion this person was saying. He said they become siba, become wild animal, biting here, attacking this person, attacking that person. And this is their psychology. Their state is just go after people. Don't you have any kind of faults yourself? You're so perfect. You don't have any mistakes you made in life. You're holier than thou. Subhanallah. Therefore, he said those people are the people that claim they have knowledge, but the knowledge is to try to hurt other people. It's not for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And they are not working their hearts, they move in arrogance, they not have humility, they are not following the Quran saying, if somebody gives you news, check it, make sure that it's correct. أن تصيبوا قوما بجهالة, you may attribute something to people فتصبحوا على ما فعلتم نادمين, because of ignorance about them, that will lead you to regret. قال he said that أدلة الأحكام, وأما أدلة الأحكام اشتمل عليها علم المذهب. He said the rulings, the evidence of rulings, it is what the madhab encompass, which is the Quran and the Sunnah of Rasulullah, and understanding them, وفهم معانيهما. أما حيل الجدل من الكسر والقلب وفساد الوضع والتركيب والتعدية إنما بتتعدد هذه الغلبة والإفهام إقامة سوق الجدل بها. He said that some people now how they become eloquent in trying to defeat other people and learning sciences just to try to prove themselves right and other people wrong. قال فغرور هؤلاء أشد كثيرا وأقبح من الغرور من قبلهم. He said those are people who have delusion more than the people before them. طيب. Now he's going to go to another group of people. وفرقة أخرى اشتغلوا بعلم الكلام والمجادلة في الأهواء ورد على المخالفين وتبع مناقضاتهم واستكثروا من معرفة المقالات المختلفة واشتغلوا بتعلم الطرق ومناظرة أولئك وإفهامهم. Now, there's some other group of people become occupied of debating theology, ilm al-kalam. And here I just want to say that there's some people, they are so occupied by labeling people. Kafir, fasiq, this and that. This person out of Islam, this person half Muslim, this person quarter Muslim. Who make you a judgment? Make you a judge, passing judgment. And if you open your mouth, they have, like referee. That's charity, like yellow card and red card and so forth. You move like this, yellow, red, out of Islam. Come on. Who made you a referee? They passing judgment of people left and right. They turn people from this masjid. They walk in the masjid, they say, oh, this young man, look at how he's wearing clothing. And you are not part of even the Imam office. You see a young person walking and say, like, brother, let me talk to you. You're wearing earring. It's haram. Okay, Allah bless you. Do you know this person coming from? You know their health, mental health? Do you know the first time they come to the masjid? What is this? There's some people become occupied with that. They want to put takfir, put people out of Islam. And they spend a lot of time to try to prove other people are not good Muslims. He says and they become many groups. واعتقدوا أنه لا يكون لعبد عمل إلا بإيمان ولا يصح إيمان إلا بتعلم جدلهم. That they have interpreted their understanding of Islamic theology to their methodology. If you don't follow me, you are out of Islam. وظنوا أنه لا أحد أعرف بالله وبصفاته منهم. They said that there's no one, those kind of people, acting arrogantly, no one knows Allah better than us. No one knows attributes of Allah better than us. And there's no iman, there's no faith of a person except the one who follow our madhab. وأنه لا إيمان إلا لمن يعتقد مذهبهم. ولم يتعلم علمه ودعت كل فرقة منهم إلى نفسها. He said there's two types of categories of this. ثم هم فرقتان. The two categories of group. ضالة ومحقة. فالضالة هي التي تدعو إلى غير السنة والمحقة هي التي تدعو إلى السنة. Two categories. ضالة, went astray, and people who follow the truth. The people in the third path, people who went astray, they call for other than the path of Rasulullah. والمحقة, the one in the right path, تدعو إلى السنة. But delusion encompass both of them. How is that? Somebody calling for sunnah, somebody goes. أما الضالة فلغفلتها عن ضلالتها وظنها بنفسها النجاة وهم فرقة كثيرة يكفر بعضهم بعضا وإنما أوتت من حيث أنها لم تتهم رأيها ولم تحكم أولا شروط الأدلة ومنهاجها فرأت الشبهة دليلا والدليل شبهة. So this kind of group of people, they are not aware of how far they went astray, and they think that they are being saved, and they start putting each other out of Islam, and does not question their opinion, and they take anything doubtful as an evidence. فرأت الشبهة دليلا, and رأت evidence as what? The clear evidence, good evidence, as doubt. Right? This one group. وأما الفرقة المحقة, for the group that they're in the right path, they have the حق, the truth with them, فإنما اقترارها من حيث أنها ظنت بالجدل أنه أهم الأمور وأفضل القربات في دين الله. Those people believe that debate is the best way of conveying the knowledge and the best method and is the best way getting closer to Allah. وزعمت أنه لا يتم لأحد دينه ما لم يفحص ولم يبحث. And those people claim that a person will not have complete their religion until they question and look and so forth for those issues that may bring doubt and to come to know what is the answer for all of them. وأن من صدق الله ورسوله من غير بحث وتحرير دليل فليس بمؤمن. A person who believes in Allah and the Prophet ﷺ without any kind of evidence, without any argument, is not a true believer. This group believe that. أو ليس بكمال الإيمان ولا مقرب عند الله فلهذا الظن الفاسد قتلت أعمارها في تعلم الجدل والبحث عن المقالات وهدانيات المبتدعة ومناقضاتهم. Now, the group here, Imam al-Ghazali have very simple criterion. What is the first group of Muslims that Rasulullah used to believe? How much debate they had about Allah? The first Muslims, how much doubt and debate about Allah they had? How many firqa, how many groups they were divided to? He said, just follow that. Make it simple. Don't complicate it. Why there's so much argument about who Allah is? How Rasulullah understood who Allah is, how the Sahaba understood who Allah is, and how they dealt with it. How was their approach or understanding about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? He said, follow that. He said, we don't need all of this. Imam al-Ghazali, however, rahimahullah, he said in the beginning of Bab al-Ilm, you teach a person only of the doubt that occurred of their time. الشبهة التي حدثت في زمانه. But you don't teach a person about shubhat, doubts happened in centuries, and dump it on somebody and say, we're going to teach you Islam. No. Like a new Muslim, a person just accepted Islam. Why have to teach about Mu'tazila, about Murji'ah, about this, about that? Things happened in the past. This person, his challenge is what? Capitalism, materialism, egoism, Am I worshiping money? Am I worshiping my ego? Am I worshiping my prestige? That was, even if we want to go to the intellectual aspect of it, evolution versus creation, that may be the challenge of the time. This is the aqidah you teach people, functioning aqidah. To be functioning, but bring all the history of what people have said in this century, that century. That's intellectual exercise. How can it benefit this person in the relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Do you know what happened? Imam al-Razi with the lady from Naysabur. Imam al-Razi rahimahullah entered the city. And everyone would go to him. And this lady said, who's this guy? An old lady. So who's this guy? Everyone was going to, you don't know him? This is Imam Razi. So, tell me more about him. He said, this is the man who wrote about this many refuting the atheism. Doubt. She said, I don't care about that. Because he had the doubt, he had refuted the doubt. I don't have any doubt. I don't know refute anything. And he heard, rahimahullah, he heard this woman. He was told this woman said this. Then he said, oh Allah, I ask you faith, iman, like those elderly women of Naysabur. I want iman like that. There's no argument and so on. I just want like her iman. She said, I don't have that. I don't have the problem. Very simple. Therefore, if you read this, Imam al-Ghazali, point he's making, he's saying that the idea of trying to prove you other people, defeating other people and so on. And that's why, by the way, I don't like at all there's some debate that happened between Muslims and Christians in the way that a person become very aggressive. We take the Bible and hit it like this and that. No, Quran says, وَلَا تُجَادِلُوا فِي الْكِتَابِ إِلَّا بِالَّتِي أَحْسَنُ. He said, argue with them in the best manner. You don't antagonize people. You explain what you believe. But you don't antagonize somebody by showing that you're disrespecting and throwing their Bible. In Islam, you respect all the books. وَلَا تُسُبُّوا الَّذِينَ يَدْعُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ فَسُبُّوا اللَّهَ عَدْوًا بِغَيْرِ عِلْمٍ. If you insult somebody, he's going to insult you back. I want to stop here. If you have any questions about what I just said? We're going to start next week. I'm not going to be here. Inshallah, we'll be in Hajj. I'm going tomorrow morning. Hajj. Inshallah, make dua for us. Inshallah. Any questions? Yes. That's very important. Rasulullah used to seek refuge by Allah from ilmin la yanfa', knowledge that does not benefit. any information you have is supposed to be of benefit, of value to us. But getting information that's not of no value to me, you know what the information that have no value? There's two types of knowledge. I'm going to just talk about beneficial knowledge that the person uses for the wrong thing. If a person learning right thing with the intention to be known and to be famous and so forth, I'm talking about Quran and the Sunnah, and that knowledge is not going to help him in their judgment because the niyyah is not good. There's some knowledge you learn for yourself. It's not entertainment, but for yourself. That you wanted to more. If somebody wants to know more about astronomy, that is what Allah called us to do. He said, reflect on the universe. If somebody wants to know about biology, Allah asks us to reflect on the creation. Want to learn about history, Allah invited us to look to what happened before us. For all of this beneficial knowledge, it depends how you use it and the intention of seeking it. But there's some knowledge absolutely not beneficial. Who's in Hollywood get married, who getting divorced, reality show, what dress that was wearing, what she did, and so forth. Why am I so obsessed with other people's life? Do I have time? I don't know. People talk for hours and hours about this show, about this family, and they say, oh, she did this and that, and they watch it for hours, watching people eating, watching. Come on. Do you have time for that? Really? Life is too short for this nonsense. Wallahi, I don't know why. Why person hours and hours watching somebody eating, watching TV, and cursing, and doing this and that, and find it to be entertaining? It's not entertaining. It's wasting of your mind and your heart. You can entertain yourself with something better than that. There's so much entertainment. But not me, like caring about, with those people details of life. I'm not helping them. They're not helping me. I'm not their counselor. I don't have access to them. But why I'm watching them? Why do I put camera in my home and have people see me eating and sleeping and so forth? It's called entertainment. Anyway. Any other questions? Yeah.
Along the line of what you said regarding the time of Prophet Muhammad, where there was no fiqh,
Yeah. It's a very important, this is a very important question that, is it enough to just say I'm a Muslim, La ilaha illallah Rasulullah, I don't go to madahib in this country. The benefit of madahib, like Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i, Imam Malik, and others, those are the people have learned the rulings and they share it with us. All of them said, this is what we learned, but if somebody show you evidence better than what we showed you, leave our saying to the saying of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They said that قولي يؤخذ منه يرد. My opinion could be right and wrong, except this man here sallallahu alaihi wasallam in this maqam. If he come to know, he says something and I didn't know about it and contradict what I just told you, leave my saying to his saying. But the problem is the following. Some people say, brother, I follow all the Kitab and Sunnah. I said, me too. But you said you're Maliki. I said, yeah. He said, I follow Kitab and Sunnah. I said, how? I asked the person, how? How do you follow Kitab and Sunnah? How do you learn? Are you a scholar? No. How do you access the Kitab and Sunnah? Then he called a scholar from Saudi, a scholar from this country. I said, you follow that scholar? They ask you the scholar, is he better or Imam Malik? Just go and ask, respectfully go and ask him. He said, there's a man in Adam Center says, you follow Imam Malik. If he tell you I'm better than Imam Malik, come back to me, because there's something wrong there. Okay? I don't follow anybody. I said, then you have your own madhab. You ask me to follow your madhab, because your understanding is your understanding. Therefore, you're creating your own madhab. Therefore, what a person does, seek the truth. And that's why I said to people, in rituals, prayers and so forth, follow your local imam. In rituals, fasting, when is Ramadan, how to fast, how many tarawih, rak'ah of tarawih, the Jum'ah before the zawal or after the zawal, follow your local imam. In issue of concerning of ijtihad that has nothing to do with text, whom to vote for, make your own mind. You know, learn general things and make your decision. Know which company, halal and haram company, or the business. After that, don't ask your imam, is Cisco better than Juniper or Amazon or whatever? You know, let the person make their own. You know, I don't know what the name of the company you mentioned. Juniper, okay. There's not. I don't have a knowledge on that, and therefore we have to differentiate between where to ask. Rasulullah, he said to the Sahaba, every time I talk to you about Allah, Sharia, you have to take it. Everything a matter of living arrangement, I make my own ijtihad. Ana bashar. He said, I'm a human being. And this hadith in Muslim, when he talked to him about the palm trees, when he came to the city and they would do what they call this talqih. You know, they take from the male and put in the female. And the Rasul said, you have to do this? They said, they stopped doing it. And therefore the fruit does not come as it's supposed to be. So, Ya Rasulullah, we stop it. He said, I didn't ask you to stop it. I asked a question. Antum a'lamu umur dunyakum, he said. You know better your worldly affairs. But you have to be careful of imposing things that are not supposed to be, not considered like right and wrong, halal, haram. It's a matter of ijtihad. طيب سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك لا اله الا انت استغفرك واتوب اليك. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر ان الانسان لفي خسر الا الذين امنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. جزاكم الله خير. Make dua for us inshallah. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.